Yeah, I'm well heavy.
No, you're not well heavy, you're just the weight of 2 sinks.
I'm 2 sinks heavy. Where have you been this morning?
Theory test.
And?
Complete it.
Yay!
So who else has to do their theory test?
Ah. No. I don't want to.
Because you're going to be able to drive the van too, aren't you?
Yeah, just not right now. You're going to do it first. I'll do it later.
Now we have finished our bathroom framework, or the start of it anyway, we're moving on to our first bit of kitchen. From our cardboard van design, you can see there's 2 parts of the kitchen. We've got the cooker and sink side, and then also our fridge and kind of a bit more workspace side. Because our sink and cooker are both quite big, our hob and oven unit, we aren't going to have a whole lot of space on this side, hence the counter space on the other side as well. So we're just going to start working out how we're going to make that now.
Oh, your butt's in my shop. What have we done today?
Oh lordy, we have set our Thetford TripleX oven and hob, our black Belfast sink, and our Shoreline Marine 12 and 24 volt fridge into the van, and realised how much space we don't have left.
Yeah, we've had a nice argument about the sink.
It's a beautiful sink.
It's a gorgeous sink, but it's very excessive. But
Sophie will be able to have a bath in it.
we're gonna keep it. We're gonna try and make it work. I think.
It's gonna work.
It's gonna work. We have a problem, and the problem is this. It's a big ass sink that somebody bought online that is gorgeous, and we love it, but it also is too big for everything.
It's not for everything. I mean, it's the perfect size for a sink, for washing up, for washing your clothes, for washing your face in. Perfect for all of that.
Yes, it is. But it's not perfect for the size of the kitchen that we have, unfortunately.
What more do you need in the kitchen apart from a cooker and a sink? Who needs counter space anyway? I think it's overrated.
So we've got this, which is our hot water tank, which should sit underneath the sink. But because the sink is so big, we've had to sort of jimmy things around a bit. It's been a stressful afternoon. But we think we've figured it out. The solution involves...
What oven do I have?
The solution involves we have to bodge the locking mechanism on this door. Max is going to redesign the kitchen bases. I'm going to go sand some worktops because I need to remove my rage. It's all good. So we're going to be making our countertops out of scaffold boards. The first thing we're going to do is try and pull off the metal bits at the end. The what, sorry?
Banding.
The banding, metal banding. So that's all nailed in, so they need to come out. We're going to need to sand them down. I mean, this one's got a big old crack in it, so who knows how they're going to turn out, but we'll try our best.
While Sophie's preparing the scaffold boards for the countertops, I'm just going to draw out a bit of a rough sketch of the framework for this first bit of kitchen that's going to have some cupboards and drawers, as well as support our oven and our sink.
So tomorrow is all, well, trying to build something to hold it all in place.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
See you tomorrow. So we're going to start with this initial frame, which we've numbered up. And have a list of sizes there. So it's just an external frame that will then kind of fit everything within.
Got wood?
Got wood. So that is all of our wood for the first bit of our countertop, measured out and cut beautifully by Sophie and me.
You did the cutting, I just measured.
Yeah, both important jobs. So that's all that cut together. We're gonna kind of dry fit it all together, throw it in there, see how it looks, and then probably come back out and recut it all again.
Positive vibes, guys. Positive vibes. So we don't have the right length screws, so we're gonna go screw fix again. And we're gonna eat our lunch on the way, because I'm starving and it's cold and I'm grumpy and I need food. We don't have the right screws. Buying screws.
And now we have the right screws, we can start putting it together. So while I'm out here assembling all of our kitchen framework, Sophie is hiding in the van, editing this week's video with a heater on. While I'm out in the cold, in my jumper, putting this together. So now we are looking at attaching to our framework the support section out of the manual for our Thetford TripleX oven and hob. So we are attaching these extra battens, building this extra bit of framework that's going to support kind of whole oven unit. That's what we're doing next.
It's thick.
And juicy.
Thick. And juicy.
Because we built our kitchen framework so beautifully square, and we've just offered it up into the van, and it was a tiny bit too long due to the angle it has to sit at to put a square thing in a not square van. So I've just shortened it by 10 mil, which is plenty of room to play with that we had. And now I'm going to build the framework to support the oven. So for this second of many, many test fits, I've just put this bit of 2x2 on top, which is going to kind of mimic our countertop thickness. It's not quite what it's going to be, but just to give us a bit more of an idea of how it's going to sit within the frame. And it all fits really nicely, so that's a good start. We're going to now look at building the framework for this cupboard underneath, sorry, drawer, not a cupboard, which we're probably going to keep all of our pans and that kind of stuff in. And then we're going to move over to the right hand side, which is where the Belfast sink is going to sit. So we're going to build the framework for that and the kind of shelf that it all sits upon. So now we've kind of test fitted our oven for the 12th time. We have these bits of timber in for the drawer that's underneath, so that's where the drawer runners are going to sit. Because we've got a drawer there and it's a gas appliance, we're putting in a kind of shelf between the two, which is slightly angled just to make it easier, which is going to run to the back about here, at which point there'll be kind of a vertical joining, and then we've got a gas dropout vent that we're going to put there, which will lead through to underneath the van, just so if for any reason there was a gas leak of any kind, the gas, because it's heavier than air, kind of runs like water and would run down and exit the van. So it's all boxed in. And we wouldn't get gassed out in our sleep.
It's always a good thing.
Be inconvenient, wouldn't it? Hey you, what you got there?
A cardboard device. Another little top tip right here. These are the perfect spacings for when you're screwing into a 2x2. So you layer it on and it gives you the perfect spacing for your screws, so you don't like cross screws or split your wood or do anything bad like that.
So clever, 10 points.
So these we're putting in are gonna support the ply, because obviously this all has to be airtight or gas tight. So it's gonna run down here, down the back, and it can't get into our drawers, because we don't want a drawer full of gas, do we?
Nope. It's a professional.
All the gear, no idea.
So next we can do the petty cladding.
Now it's getting a bit colder. There is only one thing you can have for lunch. And the best thing is, Max has set us up a little treat in the lockup. Microwave! So now we've cut out all of this ply, we're going to attach it to this framework. This is going to be the gas dropout. So this is all angled so that when the ply face is on, it's going to run down here like water, drop down here, and there's a hole, little gas dropout. It's going to fit perfectly behind this space because we measured it perfectly. Okay.
So the gas isn't actually going to run down here like that because we're going to do the gas well. But just in case.
Emergency gas. It's emergency gas dropout. In case things go bad. But yeah, this all comes in like this way. Like this. And it creates like a box for our oven to sit in. But hopefully we'll never have to use it. It doesn't ever need using, but you know. Safety first, guys. So I'm just measuring some wood so we can cut it for our sink. Now this is a massive, great big Belfast sink. And if you followed us on Instagram, you'll have seen that sink gate was a big deal for us. This sink is gorgeous. It is huge. And it is now officially taking over almost all of our sort of kitchen cooking area. But we did a pro and con list and we figured actually the big Belfast sink has more pros than cons, hopefully. So what we're going to do is we need to set it into its own shelf. So we're going to build a shelf that it sits on. It is going to sit below the countertop so that we can fit the missing countertop piece into the sink, and then we'll have the whole worktop space ready to go. Well, that's the plan.
So we think that is our shelf for our sink support to be in. So we've just got a scrap bit of 18mm MDF that we're using for now. That's not what we're actually going to be using, but it'll work for now. So that'll sit something like that. Obviously won't be longer. And then the sink will sit, hopefully, we'll try it in a second, on that, which will leave it flush with the top of this. So when the countertop goes on, like a Belfast sink should, the countertop just sits over the edge of it. So we're going to drop it on the floor now and try and lift it in. So it's not quite sitting right because of the space where the plug hole is underneath, but that is pretty much from like a width and length point of view where it's going to be sat. And then we'll have two cupboards under here, which is plenty of like cleaning, storage type stuff. And then we'll have a drawer under where the oven will sit, which is going to be for our pans.
It is getting cold all of a sudden. So now we have this bit kind of built out and framed out, we want to attach it into the van. But it runs across here, about halfway across the dorm. So we're going to need to fit some door cards that are going to basically blank out the old handles. And we're going to have to run a piece of string as our door handle. So let's get a bit of a bodge on. So we've got a sheet of 5mm ply. We've got the old door cards and we're going to use them as templates, but we're not going to cut out all of this nonsense because we're going to blank off most of it, hopefully, if we can find a way to open the door without using the handle. So we've now used the old door card to template where the holes are going to go in this one. Now this is the driver's side one, so this one is going to have all the holes. We're going to try and keep as much of the actual door handleage as possible on that side. Let's go with the other side, that's the issue.
Let's draw some holes. So that'll be fine, won't it? So it goes from there, ish.
Yeah, and then it fits. Perfect. It's close.
But the 5mm comes a bit further this way than that from the leg.
Yeah. Aww. Now we've got the first one ready, we're going to use it as a template to get the second one ready.
Well, we've got the jigsaw out and we're cutting sheet material, and we're just going to cut out this quick base for our sink unit.
Big chunky 18mm ply, so it's not going to go anywhere, and
nice and strong to hold that heavy Belfast sink.
Yeah, big Belfast sink.
So now that we've cut this piece out, let's go give it a dry fit and see if it, that doesn't make sense.
You're doing great, honey.
Well, the sink weighs about half what you weigh, so
Ta-da!
should be strong enough, eh?
Yeah, I'm well heavy.
So we're going to screw in our screws.
What are these, 40mm?
40
40mm. 18mm into the wood. All good.
in the van.
Let's go.
So one tool I definitely recommend if you're doing a van build is one of these small 90-degree corner chocks for your drill. So you can still replace the drill bit in the other screwdriver bit kind of in the end of it. But if you're ever doing any tight corners, you can then attach it to your drill or impact driver, and you can then reach around any corner you need to. Super useful.
Let's cut this hole. So now we have a hole. Let's see if our sink will fit.
And there we have our sink resting in place on its shelf.
It looks really good.
What do you think?
I'm really excited. It suddenly feels like we've got a bit of a kitchen in, and with the bathroom as well. It feels like it's all sort of coming together.
So that's almost the framework on one side of the van done. So tomorrow we need to start the other side.
Yeah, kitchen part 2.
Kitchen part 2, and log burners around, and then seating.
Oh my goodness, it's all happening.
Then that's the framework done. Something else ticked off the list.
Yes.
Happy?
Happy.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.